Hey, bro, these modern relationships are getting wicked. It says she married a wealthy old man, then cheated, and then she got brutally murdered by this man. So she went in there, she was trying to do the deed, she was trying to marry him, cheat on him, take his money, maybe divorce him and all that. Other dude, he was like, yo, this is not happening. I'm not messing with this. He let the emotions get the best of him and ended up taking her life. I'm not supporting any of their actions at all whatsoever. We're just here for the story. Let's get straight into this and make sure you do smash the like button and subscribe if you're new.
Name something you must have in order to live.
A man.
One of the 7 wonders of the world.
A rich man.
Something that improves with age.
A young man.
A Christmas present you'd exchange.
A old man.
Evil exists in this world. Trust no one.
Hey, bro, this is a new channel. I don't know what type of vibes they be on. You know what I'm saying? We exploring together.
Tonya McDonald. This is the story of Tonya McDonald, a beautiful, jovial, adventurous woman who fell prey to a relentless predator. The story takes us to Portland, Jamaica, a tourist-rich destination known for its natural beauty, stunning beaches, lush vegetation, and the peak of the Blue Mountain Range. Tonya grew up in a small, close-knit family in Portland, Jamaica, with her mom, dad, and extended family always ready to shield and guide her. After graduating Titchfield High School, she went on to pursue her business administration course as she dreamed of one day owning her own business. She loves to have fun and make others laugh, and she would often play out skits on TikTok.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in. Tell me about yourself.
Yeah, I'm a savage. Classy, bougie, ratchet.
Bruh.
Sassy, moody, nasty.
So, I'm going to talk about Jesus.
Hallelujah!
That's loud.
Okay, sorry.
Do it nicely.
Oh, yes. Hallelujah.
In 2007, she met a man by the name of Everton Beachy Stout McDonald, and he was relentless in pursuing her, even though he was married at the time. He was 52 years old and she was 19. He didn't hide her from his wife or anyone for that matter.
I'm not gonna
And
lie,
sure,
that's probably
she
one of
and
the
his
biggest
wife
age
had
gaps.
several altercations. But not long after what would be their final altercation, in which his wife destroyed Tonya's phone that Beachy had bought, she was murdered at her home in May 2009. That didn't seem to bother Tonya, and within months she and Beachy were married and she assumed the role of wife. He was a wealthy and powerful businessman who was revered in his community. Of course, she was excited to finally be this close to real money, but she had no idea what being married really entailed. She was drawn to the lifestyle Beachy could afford her, but she was not prepared for what being a wife to Beachy meant. She was young, naive, and had no idea what she was getting herself into. They had a good couple of months, but it was not long before she began to experience the real Beachy Stout. He knew he was an older man and not a very comely one, yet he chose to be with a woman less than half his age while continuously looking over his shoulder to see if any young, handsome man would try to take her away. But Tonya remained a faithful wife for a good number of years. But that wouldn't last. Beachy was so insecure and seemed to be getting more insecure with each passing year.
That's because Beachy need to work out. Look at his belly. Of course he's going to be looking over his shoulder if another dude going, you need to hit the gym ski, my boy.
More insecure with each passing year, he poured out all his insecurities and frustrations into Tonya. And in 2015, she began to look outside her marriage for some solace and comfort. She got involved with a handsome policeman who was of Indian descent, and they would often meet up and spend quality time together. These meetings took her away mentally from her marital problems, temporarily each time, but she was being watched and reported on, and she had no idea. She began to drift away from her husband, and he was drifting away too, knowing what he knew that she didn't know that he knew. According to an ex-employee of Beachy Stout who was very close to them, he started to notice that Tonya and Beachy would not be together often from around 2015, and by 2019, the relationship was very rocky. Most of the nights when they close up the business and they go upstairs, He would hear Beachy arguing with Tanya about having man. And quite often, Tanya would leave the business and be gone for hours. He would sometimes take her phone away and restrict her. And whenever she tried to get her phone back, he would beat on her and at one time even hit her head on a wall. Beachy and Tanya tried to keep up appearance while out together in public, but something was brewing beneath the surface. Tanya thought she could have some solace and fun outside of her marriage and her husband would not find out. But little did she know he was having her watched at
times.
times.
Like, I forever says, like, this is one of those extreme cases. Like, people would be like, yeah, I love him, blah, blah, blah. Like, I always wonder how you could go from being in a relationship to getting to the point to taking their life. But then, like, a year or two ago, you were claiming you love them. Crazy.
And knew exactly where she was and who she was with. He kept accusing her of cheating, but she didn't realize he had proof she was cheating. Imagine her going on one of her secret rendezvous and coming home pretending like nothing happened, when her husband already knew everything. She was living dangerously, and although killing her is not justifiable
at all,
it was only a matter of time before he would do something about it. And with his old established wisdom, he would strike only at the right time. For years, it had rumored in the community that Tanya's parents did not approve of her being with Beachy. And even after they were married, her dad would still try to intervene. But Beachy grew tired of her dad interference and arranged for her dad to be murdered in 2018. It was confirmed during the trial by Denvalin, the contracted killer and key witness, that Beachy had Tanya's dad killed.
I'm not gonna lie, they moving different over there. Sheesh.
According to Denvalin, Tanya asked him to source her a gun so she could kill the person who killed her dad. And she did so in front of her husband Beachy, who later told him that Beachy was the one who had her dad murdered, and that he should take the money Tanya gave him to buy her gun, as a down payment towards the contract to murder her. So Tanya unknowingly delivers cash to the contract killer for her own murder. According to Denvalin, after Beachy hired him to kill his wife Tanya, he couldn't kill her himself because he was also having an affair with her. So the 56-year-old Denvalin Minot subcontracted 30-year-old Oscar Barnes to do it. Beachy had told him he did not want anyone else involved. He should do it on his own. But he decided to be there at the scene watching to make sure it's done, but letting Oscar do the actual killing. They made multiple unsuccessful attempts to kill Tanya, their first attempt being at the home she shared with her husband, at his request. But while they were hiding in wait for the perfect moment to kill her, she got out of her car and instead of walking like she usually does, she quickly ran to her grill and the housekeeper let her in. Maybe it was her intuition, or it just wasn't her time to go, but she got out of her car and quickly ran inside her house. According to Denvalin, when that attempt failed, Beachy became irate, saying he was useless. Beachy was relentless in his pursuit to kill his wife. And Denvalin knew that if he didn't do it, he would have gotten someone else to do it, but it was going to get done. So after a few attempts, Denvalin and Oscar orchestrated the final plan. Denvalin would tell Tanya they were going to get her gun and another guy would be coming. Of course she trusted him and was also excited to finally get her gun, so she agreed and their plan was set in motion. At around 7 p.m. on Monday, July 20, 2020, Denvalin had Tanya drive him to pick up Oscar and then drive them both to her prospective murder scene. He beside her in the front of the car.
If this ain't the most sticky, most wicked situation, so we have the wife that was cheating on her husband with her supposed hitman that her husband was paying him to actually kill the wife. That didn't end up working out. But it's the fact that she still trusts this dude, not knowing that that's the hitman. Yo.
And the subcontracted murderer Oscar in the back seat behind Tanya. She thought they were taking her to get her gun. She had no idea they were leading her to her death. Denvalin testified in court that Beachy trusted him wholeheartedly and would not only let him handle his money, but would also have him run errands with Tanya from time to time. And during that time, Tanya developed a solid trust in him as well. And it was that trust that made her got in her car and drove with him and this strange man, Oscar Barnes, to a lonely place on the deserted Tellington Road in Sherwood Forest at night, even when her gut was not feeling right about it. They drove for a while on the lonely stretch, and as Tanya began to feel perturbed about it and asked where they were going, Oscar told her to go up a little more. After a few more minutes and they were at a T-junction, Oscar requested that Tanya stop the car. And as the car came to a halt, Denvelin quickly got out the car, and Tanya began to sense something was very wrong, but it was too late.
You need to whip that joint. Bruh.
Oscar quickly placed one hand around Tanya's neck, hooking her head to her seat headrest, and began stabbing her in the chest with the other.
Holy
As
shit.
blood spewed.
So it was a stabbing. We're just gonna skip that part. We already get the gist though. I don't want to get like yellow marked on YouTube or anything.
Denvelin watched from outside the car the entire time until Tanya took her last breath. Then they lit the car on fire. According to Denvelin, Beachy told him he wanted Tanya dead, but he didn't want her to be shot and go out easily.
Murder of his first wife, Merlene, more than a decade ago, paid a policeman to orchestrate the killing. Mr. McDonald, who is also charged with the killing of his second wife, Tanya, appeared in court via video conferencing from the Horizon Adult Remand Center.
When the matter was called up in the Home Circuit Court this morning, the prosecutor disclosed that Mr. McDonald allegedly had Merlene killed because their marriage broke down in 2007, after which she moved out of the matrimonial home.
As a result of a second wife's brutal murder, the first wife's case has been reopened and Beachy is charged and will face trial in 2024. Beachy Stout thought he had gotten away with murdering his first wife, so he decided to do it again. And while it can be very difficult to bring charges against, let alone garner a conviction for the wealthy people who wield power in the island of Jamaica, the evidence is overwhelming in this case. There are recorded phone messages and other solid forensic evidence that have been collected. But while it is obvious to us that he is responsible for both wives' murder, the court will be the one to decide if he gets convicted and justice is finally served. He took over Tanya's life and took it away in the end. May Tanya's precious soul rest in peace. And may she get the justice she...
Bro, it's like at that point, like, yo, if she want to go, like, yo, just let her go. Because to get to the point of killing someone, that's just never good. I feel like it will just rest on a person's conscience. I know it'll rest on mine, like, to the fullest extent for a fact, bro. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure you do smash the like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one the same way you're going to catch me in the next one. Peace.